It's time for Quarantine Cabaret Cocktails with Robert Bannon and Lee Lessack.
We have a show this week, Lee. We have such a show. We can't hear you. Sorry, Lee.
Keeps muted. Okay, say it again.
We have a show.
We do. I'm so excited.
We have never, thank you everybody, had the response that we've had from email to messages to direct DMs everywhere. You guys are excited, and we are
amazing.
Excited.
It's amazing. A few weeks ago, we started doing these like cast reunion shows because we had the most adorably talented kid, Jake Ryan Flynn, who was Charlie in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory on Broadway, and he's in the upcoming Mrs. Doubtfire. He plays the son, and a friend of mine connected us, and so he was going to be our guest. And I was emailing with his mom, Mary, and she said, Jake thought it might be fun to invite some of the other cast members if you like that idea. And I was like, yeah, why not? And the next thing I knew, we had the entire principal cast of Mrs. Doubtfire on the show, and it was so much fun. And we got a lot of great responses and emails and messages about it. And so we've done the Falsettos national tour Broadway cast. Last week we did a Hamilton reunion that had a bunch of Hamilton people, and this week I had reached out to my friends Emily Skinner and Alice Ripley and said, why don't you come on and we can do like a sideshow reunion, thinking it would just be the two of them. And they both said yes, they would do it. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to ask Hugh Panaro, because I've known Hugh since like just after high school. We met doing dinner theater together. And so he said yes. And then like he connected me to Norm Lewis. And then Norm said, well, you should call Ken Jennings. And Norm's manager said, don't forget Jeff McCarthy. And before we knew it, we had all six. And when we posted about it, I mean, I like to think that we're pretty popular anyway, but this was insane.
You showed up. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our messy show.
The fans of this show, it had such a cult following and still does. And the fans of this cast in this show, it's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable.
When I think of the show, I was in elementary school when Sideshow came out, and I was doing musical theater in my high school, and I was really sick for a couple of years and missed it. So shows like the Rosie O'Donnell show like the Tony Awards, like that was my access to Broadway. And I will never forget Alice and Emily singing on those shows. They're literally, as a child, remember. And you know, I was a big late night fan, so I knew Jeff McCarthy, and I'm from Hudson County, New Jersey, so I know Ken is a Jersey boy. And Norm, I just saw Norm at D23 convention in California. Lauren, who sang at it, Norm sang at it. I was there to see, and Norm is legendary. All of them, legendary cast. So everybody here, I feel like I've been watching you my whole life.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited that I almost wish we didn't have an In Good Company reunion segment, but we have to, because I promised everybody. So for those of you that are watching for the first time, which I find very hard to believe, for those of you watching for the first time, literally the first week of quarantine, I came home to LA. I was on like a 5-week concert tour in Florida, and after one show, the entire tour collapsed. So I came home and we were walking the dogs, and I got a text from a friend of mine in New York, Beth Martin, who said, I just want to make sure you guys are okay. And I have to tell you, I've been listening to your duets album a lot this week, and it has given me a great sense of calm in an otherwise anxiety-fueled moment in time. I thought that was so sweet, and I showed the text to Mark, and he said, you know, I wish there was a way that you could kind of re-release this, because it's 15 years ago. 15 years ago, I produced a duets album, and I recorded with 17 other vocalists, And I did it because it was the 10-year anniversary of my LML Music record label. And honestly, I just thought if I'm going to do another album, I'd like to figure out how to sell more copies than my last 4 albums. And I thought I'll invite people that are better known than me, which is like a wide open playing field. And so everybody I asked said yes, from Stephen Schwartz, Michael Feinstein, Maureen McGovern, Ann Hampton Calloway, Susan Egan, all of them, Ken Page. It was such a dream project. And so I thought, how can we like re-release this? Because 15 years ago, there wasn't social media. And so a friend of mine, Jonathan Hawkins, said, I think you need to engage with video because that is what attracts people today on social media. And so we set up all of these video, like Zoom interviews that he then edited, and we've used those to reintroduce a song. And every Friday we drop a new track just for streaming. It's not for profit or anything like that. And so we're almost done because this is our 16th episode.
Yes. Someone
if you can imagine.
How long have we been going on? 16.
Funny you should ask. So I am very excited. This week is a song called Never Saw Blue Like That before, and it is from the soundtrack of Runaway Bride with Julia Roberts and Richard Gere.
Yes.
And it's a song that Sean Colvin wrote.
Okay.
And I recorded it with an amazing singer that I met in Chicago years ago, who then moved to LA, Mary Jo Mundy. Gorgeous, gorgeous voice. And we're going to drop this tomorrow, but here's a little preview.
Today, we took a walk.
Hi, Mary Jo Mundy.
Hi, Lee Lessack.
It's so good to see you.
It's so good to see you.
So good to see anybody.
I know, at this time.
We've known each other for like over 30 years.
Oh my God, really?
When I was putting together In Good Company, the project started because it was the 10-year anniversary of my record label. And I wanted to do something to celebrate that. I want the album to celebrate voices that I think are the greatest on the planet. And so I thought about the people that, you know, I had sung with or had heard at cabarets or jazz clubs or whatever. And of course, you immediately came to my mind. I had heard this song. I loved it. I just loved the song. It was written by Sean Colvin. It was in the film soundtrack of the Julia Roberts film Runaway Bride, with her and Richard Gere. And we instantly found the duet in it.
Yep.
And it's one of my favorite tracks on the album. It just makes me smile and warms my heart. And
anytime it comes on my playlist, I'm always like, oh yeah. And I don't know if you know, at that time, I had gastric bypass in 2004. And right as you were recording this, this was the first song I sang after my surgery. So I had like this really, truly like significance in my life because it was the first song I was singing and the first expression of like this new journey I was about to go on. You know, never saw blue like that. And it was such a magical moment in my life. And then to have that song, and now to be able to go back and remember it anytime I hear it and go, oh my gosh, what a great time in my life that was.
Yeah.
It's all the people that you had on that CD were just like heroes of mine. I mean, it's just, there was so many beautiful voices on that CD. You should be very proud of it. It was an amazing, amazing project. And I'm so thrilled that I'm a little piece of it. I'll never forget being in the studio and him just being like, you need to like whisper this song. Like, it has to be like this kind of mood and voice. And he really like gave me like the foundation of where we went with the song. But I kind of had to do it in the moment because before that we were just singing it, you know, like belting it out. And then we came to that microphone. It's a very different sound, very different process. So that was magical too, to kind of learn how to sing in front of a microphone. That was a big step for me too, like that kind of singing. It's so intimate. It was so intimate. Right.
And trusting that less is more.
Yeah.
And I remember Johnny Rogers just kept saying to everybody, pillow talk, pillow talk, pillow talk. really does pull the listener in, because it is so tender and intimate.
Yeah, people like really took it and used it as this inspirational song for their lives. It was,
yeah. Me too. I love the work that we did, and every time the song comes on our playlist, it just makes me smile. It really, really does. So.
Me too. It was just such a pleasure to sing with such a luscious singer.
Well, it takes one to know one.
Thank you, honey. Great to see you. I love you.
Love you too.
You're giving me all you have and more, and no one else.
You're eating carbs?
Just don't tell my trainer. It's dinner.
Okay, so I think this is the 12th edition of In Good Company. There's 17 tracks, and every week we come out of this segment and Robert has a different food group that he's eating.
I just took a moment.
I thought you would have run out by week 10.
No. Listen, I'm a foodie at heart. I will find a food every week this show is on.
Anyway, that was Mary Jo Mundy. I heard her at some club in Chicago. I lived in Chicago for one winter, and in between New York and LA. And I heard this voice, and it was like literally one of the most angelic voices I had ever heard. And then she moved to LA, and we reconnected. And that was like over 30 years ago. And when I was building this project, the first like 6 or 7 people that I reached out to, as I said previously, were, you know, somewhat big names, because I wanted to elevate the album. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to dedicate the rest of the album to voices that I think are the most incredible voices on the planet that nobody knows about. And so it was really a full circle project in that way, in that there were people that I recorded with that had never recorded before and probably never will record again. Anyway, so tomorrow, check social media. I'll include all the links where you can listen to the song on Spotify and YouTube and whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can listen to the album. Someone asked just now, can we listen to the album? Can you purchase the album?
You can. You can. I love this comment that just came on. Alice Ripley, my dear freaking talented friend, was my college roommate.
Hi, Karen. Hi,
Karen.
I know you're waiting. We have them. They're coming. They're all coming.
It's crazy. So we decided we were going to try and do a reunion of the musical Sideshow, which for anybody that hasn't seen it, I feel bad for you, because it's literally one of the best musicals I have ever seen. I saw the original production. It's just incredible. And the music is incredible. The story is incredible. The acting the performances were all off the charts. And it became like this cult show, like Rocky Horror Picture Show. You know, I mean, like the following, as we've seen on social media this week, the fans are very loyal.
Yes.
They are fiercely loyal. And it's fantastic. It's just fantastic. And I thought I was just going to invite Emily and Alice, who are my friends, and they said yes. And then I thought, oh, I should ask Hugh Panaro, because I've known Hugh since like just after high school. We both grew up in Philly. But then it just kept growing. Like one person said, well, you should invite Jeff McCarthy, and you should invite Norm Lewis, and you should invite Ken. And everybody said yes. And so now we have the entire principal cast of the show, which I can't even believe it. I'm so excited. And so I don't want to waste any time. Robert put together a little sizzle reel of all of their careers. I just want to say, I have spent a little time on Wikipedia this week and Internet Broadway Database. And correct me if I'm wrong when you come on, but between these 6 talented artists, they have done 52 Broadway shows.
Insane.
Which is kind of redunculous, if you ask me.
Insane.
Robert and I collectively have done 0, but my last album just went 10. So there's that. Okay, so
dinner. I ate pizza on Broadway.
you did?
I may have sung a song on a corner. 52 shows.
That's
Amazing.
crazy. It's crazy. All right, here we go.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by, when hope was high and life worth living. Nothing's real, and I miss the mountains. I miss the lonely time.
Close your eyes. I'm here beside you. No goodbyes needed today. Leave you when I yes.
We're lucky we're together. We're a pair remarkably mated. People swear we must be related. We can't bear to be separated. We share everything.
Morning time and evening time and summertime and winter time. Bess, you got your man. In all your fantasies, you always knew that man and mystery
We're both in you.
Spy, where the road meets the sea, let the tide be high. Hello, my baby, hello, my honey, hello, my ragtime cow.
Gentlemen, I have decided to run for the President of the United States. Well, let's just say it's filled with symbolism and things like that.
Say, Officer Lockstock, is this where you tell the audience about the water shortage?
Whoa, 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 whoa there, little Sally. Not all at once.
Oh, I guess you don't want to overload them with too much exposition, huh?
No, everything in its time, little Sally. You're too young to understand it now, but nothing can kill a show like too much exposition.
Wrapped up with another, tangled and entwined. I invade a separation in the private conversation in my mind. Softly, deftly, music shall caress you. Hear it, feel it, secretly possess you. While they run with their time, they will pay for the stars on my back.
When I count my blessings, I find they all add up to 1 + 1 equals 3. My adventure sister and me. Not Sweeney Todd, the demon barber of fate.
Nothing's gonna harm you, not while I'm around. Nothing's gonna harm you, no sir, not while I'm around.
You guys, we have lived our lives. This is good.
Oh my God.
Lee got logged off. He'll be back in 1 second. Can you just see how amazing you guys are in that video? It was so amazing to see you all and all of the work that you guys have done. And thank you so much for being here.
Well,
thank you.
I'm crying. That was so great.
Yeah.
The honor is really all of ours. Do you, Alice and Emily, do you have your story about your journey to being a part of this show?
Take it away, Em.
You know, I have to say, I'm really glad that we're all here, because so much of the time, Alice and I get asked to talk about Sideshow, and rarely is the whole principal cast. I think this may be the first time ever we've all gotten a chance to talk about the show together. So I'm thrilled to be here with all of you.
We're so excited to have you here. Thank you all so much. And Alice, what was it like for you to be a part of this cast? And literally you two being joined together, singing together. I mean, that is the most iconic song and performance. You two are brilliant.
Well, you know,
I can't believe that cut off before the end of it.
What did? Oh, it was very
I said,
dramatic.
I can't believe it cut off before the end of that song. I mean, we had the most iconic song from the show at the end, and my computer froze.
Oh, we heard it.
Oh, we heard it.
We heard it.
We heard it.
Okay, good. Okay.
Well, the show ran,
It's
like
just me.
8 weeks, so maybe that's why.
You know,
Sorry.
we weren't actually joined together.
You weren't.
No.
It's called acting. You can't hear me?
Yeah, we can
you
hear
hear
you.
me? Can you
We can hear you.
We weren't joined together. It was an illusion.
Oh, Lord.
Yes.
I hope
was.
Bobby Longbottom is watching right now.
You really can't hear me right now? Can you
No,
hear me
we can-
okay? It's-
We can hear you.
Yes.
Oh, I'm
I
paranoid.
can't hear you.
I can hear
I
you.
can't hear you either, Ems. I can never hear you.
Emily, I think it's you because we all hear Alice.
We all hear
Okay.
Alice.
I can't hear her.
Don't get paranoid. Okay.
Maybe
So
therapy
you were
is-
not
I
attached.
hear all of you, so I'm not sure.
You were not attached at all in that show.
No, our costumes weren't attached and we weren't attached. That, you know, it's an illusion. That's what's fun about it. But people still call me Emily and I consider it a compliment. Okay.
Alice, do you have like a $5,000 mic there? You are so clear. It's unbelievable.
Well, it's right here. Hello, Jeffrey. Can you hear me?
Oh,
Come in, Claire.
Yes, yes.
It's called Pillow Talk. Pillow Talk.
We all
Emily,
gotta go.
Emily,
Well,
can you
Em
hear?
said she couldn't hear me, so I was holding it up. Technical difficulties.
Emily, can you hear? I don't think-
No, Emily.
Emily,
I
can,
couldn't hear what Alice said. You'll have to tell
Oh,
me
really?
what Alice said.
Really?
She loves you.
You know what? I have an idea. Hold, please.
I love you
What
too.
about-
I can't hear you.
is there somebody who's in the tech? Who's doing the tech? Who's doing the tech?
We have.
I'm doing the tech.
Okay.
I know.
All
So
right.
I turned up the fan. Can you hear me
Should
now?
Emily-
Okay, better?
No, should Emily sign off and come back on?
I'm back in.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Why don't you try that, Emily? Sign off.
Let's
and
do a
come
sound
back-
test. Can you
sign
hear me
back
now,
in.
Ems?
Okay.
What do you
Try
think? Can you
that.
hear me? No?
All right.
We'll wait for you.
Welcome. We're live.
Meanwhile, have you all seen the Spike Lee film with Norm Lewis?
No,
The
I
Spike
want
Lee film. Oh, God.
Hells yeah! I saw the Spike Lee film with Norm Lewis.
I was so proud of him. God almighty, Norm.
Whatever.
I'm in the room. Jeff.
You're right
Oh,
there.
yeah. Hi, Normie. I didn't even see you there.
I'm cyber hugging you.
Well, if you haven't seen it yet, The Five Bloods, Norm Lewis is genius.
I haven't seen it yet. I hear it.
Have you not?
I was going to give away something really big because I texted Norm when I saw it and I was like, I can't believe that.
Oh, no.
And you're there with two of my oldest friends, with Isaiah
one?
Whitlock and Delroy Lindo.
Oh, amazing cast. Yeah.
I know
Amazing
them
cast.
very well, both of them. Yeah.
All right, Emily, can you hear us?
Is that better?
Alice, say something.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Now you can hear me. I can't stop adjusting the camera. This is really.
I just
Stop,
want to
Alice.
say I want to say just one quick thing before we go forward. There was a slight mistake in the video, just a slight one. And Once on This Island, that wasn't me. That was that was Quentin Darrington, who was fantastic. I was
wondering.
I replaced him for 2 months when he had knee surgery. but at least you acknowledge that I was in the show. So that's one thing. I just want to make sure Quentin Derrickson is an amazing actor, amazing singer, and
I apologize to you.
But that was you singing with Angela Lansbury, right, Norm?
Yes,
Angela Lansbury, right?
Well, Norm,
I always get her and
saw
Audra
you,
McDonald
Norm.
mixed up.
I saw you in Once on This Island because I do a lot of work with Leia Salonga. I produced her last album and I book a lot of her concert dates. And so I was in New York and I arranged a house seat with Leia to come and see her. And then the morning of the matinee, I got a text that she had the flu and strep throat and she wasn't going to be on. But I was like, I'm going to go anyway because I was just in New York for a couple of days. And I saw the show and you, and it was such a gorgeous production and reimagining of that show. I saw the original as well, but it was so immersive. I just loved it.
Yeah, I was lucky because 25 years before, I was able to do the national tour for about a couple of months. And so I had the Graziella Danielle version, and I also had this version. So it was great to revisit it. But
I'm a CRFer with Roderick Covington, so I saw you in it and saw him. So I apologize to you first.
Don't apologize. No, it's just I just want to make sure that Quentin got.
I warned everyone, but it's a messy little show.
Okay. So that's good. I'm so glad Robert screwed up this week as well because I posted like the wrong program cover of the show, and it created like an internet flurry like I've never seen. And I love it. Trust me, I've never had so much attention. I love it.
Listen,
I just want to say, Hugh, are you connected?
Yes.
Oh, good. So as I mentioned,
I'm listening to everybody.
I met Hugh in 1981 doing a production of The Boyfriend at the Huntington Valley Dinner Theater in Huntington Valley, Pennsylvania. And look what I found. Now, this may cut some of your faces out, but you'll come right back. I found a couple of delicious photos. This is us in The Boyfriend. That's me on the right.
Oh, wow.
And that's you in the center. Look how thin we were. Right? And then I searched a little longer and I found this picture. Hugh and his mom, Joan, were like, they were like the beacons of this theater. They did like every production. And this was the two of them in Annie. I found this photo.
That's you and your mom, Hugh?
That's his mom, Joan.
Oh my God. Wow.
I know. I just had to show you.
Looking down from heaven laughing.
Is she? Oh.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I gave her a rough time during that run because I only had Dorothy Loudon in my head. And I kept giving my mom notes.
I'm sure she loved that.
She played Miss Hannigan and you played Rooster, did you?
Yes.
Yeah, she was very proud that we could play brother and sister,
Here's to your mom.
Here's to your mom.
Here's to mom.
Your mother and her mom.
Yeah, coming up on a year.
And Ken Jennings, I saw in the Book of John a couple months ago, which was Ken, as usual, is such a brilliant actor. You all need to know about this. Apparently, it played on YouTube to like thousands of people all over the world.
It did, Jeff. Thanks be to God.
Oh, I love you, Ken.
Thanks be to God.
I saw a big chunk of it, Ken, and I was amazed at the memorization. I mean, it was a masterclass in acting. If you see it on
He plays Jesus, you know.
Masterclass,
as you do.
I have to say, though, thanks to my mom, I was brought to the theater to see Mr. Ken Jennings in Sweeney Todd.
Yay.
And it was life-changing because I remember my mom and dad said, we want you to see, there's a lady named Angela Lansbury, and you've seen her on TV, you've seen her in movies, but you must see this woman live on stage because she is magic. So they said it was part of my education to see Angela Lansbury. And part of that education was Ken Jennings. And I think I told you this during Sideshow, but you will always be Tobias in my mind, my heart. That voice just resonates in my heart to this very day, Ken.
I thank you. Thank you.
Hear, hear.
And Emily and I did.
Gotcha.
Emily and I did Sweeney Todd out in Oklahoma.
Oh
some years
man!
Oh, wow.
ago. Yeah.
Now, where are you all quarantining? Alice, you're in New York?
Yeah.
You're in
Mhm.
New York?
Long
Jeff?
Island. I live behind the Pepsi Cola sign.
Okay.
Okay.
Ish.
Jeff?
I live behind the Tito vodka sign in Maplewood, New Jersey.
I love that. I love that sign. Emily?
I'm in New York. I live
You are?
in Harlem, and I live on a block where it's a landmark block because it has a club that every single African American musician you've ever heard of was a member of. Everybody. So,
Norm, are you a member there?
except Norm.
Oh.
Someone had to go there.
I thought you were black, Norma.
Ken, you're on the
Not
Upper
yet.
East Side. We
I'm
talked
on the
about
Upper East Side, I
that.
am.
Norm, where are you, Norm?
I'm right behind Alice.
I thought you were black. I got that wrong. I'm
At
sorry.
the Pepsi Cola sign. No, I'm Upper West Side in New York. Upper West Side, New York.
Yes.
Okay.
He's also
Hugh-
in Mrs. America. He's in Mrs. America that I watched.
Yes.
I need to give you my.
I saw
need to
that.
give you my
I saw that.
manager.
I'm just so fucking proud of all of us.
Thank
What's
you,
this?
brother.
And I'm going to say fuck as many times as I want.
You can. You
Here,
can.
here.
And Hugh, you're in Connecticut right now.
I am in Connecticut in our 1729 salt box with no air conditioning, and it is like 90 degrees.
Do you have windows or is it a box?
What, honey?
Do you have windows or is it actually a box with a lid on it?
It is a style of a house called a salt box. There are windows, but no air. There was no.
I don't want to be the one to point out the fact that your partner's an interior designer and you could have an air conditioner.
No, to be
He
honest,
needs to do Phantom of the Opera again, apparently.
actually,
Phantom. Yeah.
it is a historically registered property. So if you were to do anything like that, it would take it off the historic register. If you
Oh,
put it
wow.
in air conditioning. I mean, it blows my mind to think of how many people have been born and died in this house since 1729.
Wow.
And it's pretty magical. But
Born.
I'm sweating.
But did they die from heat stroke? Did they die from heat stroke?
I'm dying from joy seeing everybody right this minute, actually.
Aww.
So I really tried, Robert and I really tried. We wanted to surprise you and make this, better. How could it be better than having you all here? I don't even know. But I reached out to Bill Russell because I thought he could come on and surprise you, but he's traveling today, so he couldn't be here. But he sent a message for you.
Here it is.
Hello, all you beautiful people. We're traveling today, so I can't be with you virtually in real time. And I'm sending this to be with you virtually in unreal time, which seems appropriate for this unreal time we're living through. To this day, I frequently have experiences like the following. A few years ago, I was working for the first time with a very talented actor from Washington State. And he told me about coming to New York City in 1997 for the holidays. He tried to get a ticket for The Lion King and couldn't. So he went to the booth and, not knowing anything about our show, bought a ticket. And he said, when you all came on stage and took a seat on the bleachers, he started crying and did not stop for the next 2.5 hours. And since that time, he had a small theater company in the Northeast. He produced the show twice. The second time because they did a survey of their audience of what show they'd done that they would most like to see brought back, and Sideshow was the #1 choice. And last summer, I directed him as the boss in a production. So that was a real complete circle. But this happens frequently. I am so grateful for the experience of working in that extraordinary time with this extraordinary group of people. And together we created something that means so much to so many people around the world. I could not be more grateful, and I cherish all of you forever.
Oh. That's awesome. That's awesome. Can I like jump on the back of that? I remember when he said that he couldn't get a ticket to Lion King. That was the year that the same season that Ragtime, Scarlet Pimpernel, and I think Lion King opened. I think that was the same year.
It was.
And out of
And
all
Cabaret
of those,
also.
and out of all of those shows, we had some of the best reviews of any of them. And this is what I learned. There was a lesson learned because we didn't market it well at all, unfortunately. And I feel like if we had done any sort of marketing, we could have been a show that would have lasted a little bit longer. I just remember Scarlet Pimpernel had some of, God bless Scarlet Pimpernel, but they didn't have as great reviews as we did. But yet, 4 days after they opened, they put up outrageous New York Times. But it could have been like outrageously bad. You know what I mean? Like they could have outrageous ... We could have picked from our worst review, but it took us 2 months to get a little sandwich board in front of our theater that no one could read. And no one knew. A lot of times people didn't know we were open.
They painted the theater black.
It just was.
Everything was painted black on the outside.
Yeah, it was just a really interesting, and it was a lesson learned about marketing. It really was.
You apologized to all of us. Remember, what's his name? Our producer.
Manny
Eisenberg. Manny Eisenberg apologized to
Who I
all.
think is watching right now.
Okay.
Well, he mortgaged his house twice, right? I mean,
Director Bobby Longbottom.
That's right. He remortgaged his house, and he
Tell the
apologized
truth.
one day for not putting enough marketing money aside.
Yeah, we were really the little show that could.
Right.
It was amazing that
For
we
sure.
got produced at all.
We were all
frankly,
standing out in the
we were an
snow.
oddball idea, and you know we were in a season with these behemoth shows that had mega marketing budgets behind them. We didn't have any of that. You know?
And some of the producers went to prison of the other shows, right? What's his?
Jeff,
Here's the dark.
you have to come on as like a co-host because I adore you. I like where you go. You go dark. I love it. So two things. You have a mega fan from I think Stockholm that wants has the original program from opening night that wants to have an autograph. So I'm gonna have him DM me and we'll send it around to each other and we should do that for him, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. We'll make it happen. Okay, so I like surprises. So I have a couple guests that want to say hello. I hope they can fit on the screen. I don't know. We've never had more than 3 people. So let's just see if we're going to do one at a time and see if it works. I'd like to introduce to you the director of Sideshow, Bobby Longbottom.
Love Bobby. Love Bobby.
That's Robert.
Hello. For gold, and I'm going to bring on the composer of Sideshow, Henry Krieger.
Oh my God!
It's the moon.
Look at you all.
God.
I'm crying.
Sadly, I've not started drinking yet. I think
Nurse.
I will.
Oh God!
Oh my God, you're so beautiful to see you all. Look at you all. Oh my God. I was thinking today, what was the moment? There were just too many of them, but it was that Zitz probe of hearing you all sing this for the first time against that. All of it. You Should Be Loved and The Tunnel of Love and Ken Jennings. I'll never forget that in particular. Yeah. And of course, that was thanks to you, Mr. Krieger, in large part.
There he is.
Henry.
Oh God.
Absolutely. Thanks to all of us. We were really an organic family, and we still are. And that Cisco really was an amazing thing. And the whole idea of this was Bobby Longbottom. And thank you, Bobby, for calling me in. Thank you for calling me in to do this. You know?
I'll never forget that meeting. Bill Russell and I had worked together before, and who should write this? Well, who wrote Dreamgirls? We had no idea, and we thought he'd hang up on us. But we actually got him into my apartment, and we got through the pitch, and he was in. Thank God.
Wow.
Yeah. You know,
who can say no to Siamese twins?
Right.
Because that's a winner.
And if you thought we had trouble marketing the way we were, the original title of the show in some of the workshops was The Songs of the Siamese Twins.
Oh.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Overflowing with love.
You just look so beautiful, both of you. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And no, they were not connected. That was all their dogged effort and the will of the audience to keep them together.
It was all about you. Did that, Bobby? You did it. You did all of our movement was because of you.
When you split apart at the end, there would be a gasp in the audience on certain. They just didn't want to believe it was so, and I was most proud of that.
Yeah.
Bobby, how did the idea for the show come about, and how did you come up with the story and research the story and get it up on stage?
Well, the girls actually were real. They lived, and then there was a movie they were in, two of them. They were in Freaks, and then they were in something unfortunate called Chained for Life, which my partner at the time said, "You got to watch this," and I did, and there were things about it that were funny in a John Waters kind of way, and then we looked deeper, and I brought Bill Russell in to look at it, and we both had the same feeling about this is about something bigger, about that thing inside of you you can't medicate or remove. You got to learn to live with it, and what a great metaphor for duality. So that's but the girls lived a full life, and we borrowed much of what happened to them, including their ill-fated marriage. Enter Buddy.
Enter Buddy.
1 + 1 = 2.
You broke my heart.
Yeah.
You know,
it was a cool experience.
I don't know if Bobby remember.
What?
Bobby, I don't know if you remember one day you said something that really has stuck with me all these years, is that you brought this company together because we all had one thing in common when we came into audition. And I don't know if this is probably my word in my memory, but some kind of a damage, something other than, you said we were all kind of freaks there was in a good way. And that it was not a coincidence that we were all brought together.
There was a note from Greg Barnes, our costume designer.
Yeah, I just saw that.
There too.
Oh, Greg Barnes.
Hi, Greg.
There he is.
He's a genius.
Greg
That's why he has an extra G in his name.
He
Great
did so
aesthetic.
much to
Oh,
convince
Greg.
these girls were friends. Yeah.
My favorite costumes ever. Sorry, everybody else. The truth is the truth.
I want to say this. This is interesting too. The fact that Bobby was the director and the choreographer. Like it's been years since you've seen something like that. Before, like you had the Michael Bennett's and you had the Fosse's, but it was years before that. Until we came back on, that you saw that kind of thing happening. Usually, it was a choreographer and a director. But Bobby,
has it ever happened since?
I don't know, but it's just just Bobby had that whole thing put together, and just watching him, like you could just see the wheels just turning and making this beautiful thing that we did.
So yeah, did you know at the time, being in the process, did you have a sense of the incredible sort of cult following that you were having? Because as an audience member and as a theater goer and a theater lover, this was the show to see, and it was crazy. But being in it, did you have a sense of what was going on around you?
our hearts were breaking too much, I think, to know that at the time. I don't know. We certainly knew we had something really powerful the summer before when we had done a workshop. We were able to be in the Richard Rodgers Theater for 6 weeks with a set, with a crew that was letting us use lighting cues, which was strictly forbidden. And we got away with murder. Then Manny came to me, our producer, and said, how do you feel about rehearsing at the Brooks Atkinson Theater? 890 was available, which is sadly not happening much anymore anyway. So we would rehearse at the Brooks. We would go have lunch with Manny at the Polish Tea Room, and then I would walk across the street to the Rodgers and see the installation of the set. And I just wish someone had said to me, take a moment and really take this in, because it's not going to happen to you ever again. And it's really that unique, you know. I have to shout out to Tom Kosis and the darling, hearted Darlene Wilson, because the reason
Darlene Wilson.
Darlene.
Oh my God, Darlene.
Those eyes, her eyes.
She did so much for you two ladies, the way you move together. She's largely responsible for that. Yeah. Bless her.
Love her. Oh my gosh.
And I just have to say, singing, first of all, singing Henry Krieger's music, you know, listening to Dreamgirls and listening to all these other shows that he's been a part of. But I had my, you know, Jennifer Holliday moment in the show. But, and what was it was great to see how he crafted the music around all of us. Because I came in later on. There were many incarnations before. I think Hugh and I came in together, right?
Right.
And so he crafted the music around our voices and had us bring who we were through that. And thank you.
It's an honor and a gift for me. Thank you,
Henry.
Oh, it's Henry's music. I mean, I don't mind it. I happen to see.
I love you, Henry, like way too much.
No. I happen to see The Greatest Showman the other day. Did you see that thing about P.T. Barnum? I didn't mind it, but it's kind of like it's almost like a sideshow theme. And I watched the whole thing. I thought, none of this music compares to Henry's music. This music isn't Henry's music. Your music soars, buddy. It really does.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Henry.
Thank you.
Henry.
You remember, you guys, my favorite moment in tech was probably not yours. It's when we first got into the Tunnel of Love apparatus, and
That's what she said.
We must have spent 8 hours at least trying to get that set, which was those hearts that pulsated out time. You know, and my God, you were such good sports. But there was never such crazy vocals as any show I've ever done is from the four of you.
Can I tell a little story about Tunnel of Love? Hugh used to make fun of me because on 2 show days, I wasn't really used to carrying that kind of load in a show. And I might like flip into my head voice on the Where Is Mine? And he'd go, what are you doing? You can't ever do that. Don't you ever flip into that head voice. And then I never did again.
I said,
you know what happened after that. Don't you ever flip into your head. And then he would do that, yeah.
You were like, I don't know if you can say the F word, but you were like, every night I see. Wait, Alice.
Okay,
that's enough. That's the end of the story.
Hugh.
What's that? What is that, Hugh?
Hugh.
There's Zippy. That's Zippy. You don't know Zippy? It's just I gave Zippy to Hugh. Was it a special occasion or was it just?
Alice gave me Zippy.
Was it opening night or was it just for no reason at all? I don't remember.
Because his hair looked like mine, his buddy.
Yeah, he had the same buddy. He had the same hair that you had going on.
No reason at all. But
Mr. Panaro. Yeah.
You like
Ken Jennings.
Later, he gets dressed up for Christmas, different holidays. And
I just want to say to you, Ken Jennings, that it was such it was an honor, but I was so thrilled that you were interested in doing this. And just to know the continuation of having the man who introduced Nothing's Gonna Harm You in our show was just, I'm
fangirling right now, okay? I'm going,
oh, thank you, Bob.
Like this.
So am I.
It was an honor to do it.
Yeah.
I was just thinking just this morning. I thought, what was my greatest contribution to Sideshow? And I remember when I came to you, Bobby, and you, Henry, and Bill, and I said, no, the lyric is wrong. The lyric is wrong. I should sing when I'm trying to convince them that that Terry Turner doesn't know what he's doing. I should sing, and you guys agreed, and you guys let me put the lyric in. You guys let me put the lyric in. I'm one of you. You guys let me put that lyric in.
And that moment was so intense and powerful.
Because he really was one of the Sideshow acts, you know, and he couldn't believe that they were listening to Terry and Buddy rather than to him. He was one of them. And I remember you guys listened to me and you said, yeah, Ken, put it in. Put it in.
Yeah, right. I remember that.
That was tremendous.
Love it.
What is it, 23 years ago, right?
Is it really?
I think so.
Wow.
My God, and when you think that I did Sweeney Todd 6 years before I was born.
So you're like 18 right now. You're the negative.
Benjamin Button.
And so much of You Should Be Loved, that whole duet between Alice and Norm was just made on you and shaped on you. And it was like open heart surgery 8 times a week. That's it.
Well, I will say that I love doing it, and I love having the duet with Alice, but I felt sorry for Emily because she was like...
She was like...
She did that brilliantly. She went into herself, into that
Yes,
scene.
She's a mighty fine actress.
No, but I remember there was a couple of times. Well, there was one night in particular that Hugh Panaro will never let me live down, and also
none of us will let you live that.
And none of you will let me live down. And the thing about it is, I was vocally challenged that day, and you know, Henry Krieger's music and Bill Russell's music. I had to hold this note out for a long time, and there's a spot like a pen light right on my face. And I just could not hold the note. And, you know, it's like, you should be loved in the way I love you. And this music is going and going and going. And I'm thinking, what am I doing? What am I going to do? So I go, Violet! Violet! And
I was like, what's happening? Where, what?
And the thing about it is that one was videotaped, and that is like a bootleg that's going. It's out there.
Damn them!
Oh,
yeah.
Damn them! Straight to.
We were right behind. Norm was in front singing that on stage, and we were behind 2 panels that were about to open and split, and then we went into Tunnel of Love. Right? Was that what we went into?
Right. Yes.
Because
yes.
all 4 of us were behind there, standing there, listening to Norm. Listening to when this happened, and all of us were
Don't laugh, lest it happen to you, Al. Is all I was thinking.
Well, can I say one thing? I think it was doing a preview. This is about Emily, but Emily, and I think she got a note on this, but it was one of the best takes I've ever heard in my life, because her line is, "I got my thrill in the tunnel of love" or something. I found my, what was it?
I got my thrill in the tunnel of love.
But she said it in a way like, I got my thrill in the tunnel. I mean, okay. I got my thrill.
Said I'm working it.
Remember that.
I don't know what this other girl got, but I got my thrill.
We had lots of fun of each other all the time.
Right.
Oh my God, you guys.
And I will say, I want to say thank you to the people, because I know when I had to call out that my understudy had to go on and jump in there right away. All of the understudies and the entire cast. Yeah.
Lauren and Kristen.
Yeah.
David McDonald.
Yeah.
Yes.
Incredible standbys and understudies in that show.
Yep.
And
What a
what
great
about
company.
the dressers that did those girls? I mean, the quick changes were irresponsible. They were so crazy.
That was your fault, Bobby.
It There was 25 seconds to change into Who Will Love Me As I Am.
Wow.
And what about Birds of a Feather? Is that what the name of that song was? Were you guys
Rare Songbirds on Display?
Songbirds on Display, yes, right.
Rare.
Wasn't there
That
a
was when we fell through the poof.
Wasn't there a fast change after your duet with Jeff, Emily? Wasn't there a quick change?
There was a fast change after every.
There was.
We didn't even breathe at intermission because we were madly changing clothes at intermission.
Oh,
that
wow.
show was like one long running Ironman triathlon.
Pretty much.
There was no time to pee. There was no time to drink any water. Nothing. Because if we weren't
And the
on
genius
stage,
Maria
we're
Varel,
madly
yeah.
having massive changes, wig changes, full costume changes, full hair changes. It was nuts.
Don't you love Terry Purcell? She is the woman.
Yeah.
Terry Purcell was our wardrobe
Magnificent.
She was
Yes, girl.
is
Wow.
the queen.
And David Chase, our musical director.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Brilliant David
And his wife, too.
And his wife.
Because she
Susan
was putting up with
Taylor.
him.
Did you
I
see
see
that
Maria
one of
Varel
your?
did our makeup. What was that?
Did you see that one of
Maria
your
Varel,
cast,
yes, Maria
one of
Varel,
your
who was our
castmates?
makeup designer, who actually made Alice and I look like twins.
Yeah, we're just talking about Maria Varel, who she was the one who taught us how to do makeup. Like I learned so much about just in general how to do makeup for the stage from her. And she taught us how to make our faces look similar. And then, you know, we aged like, I don't know, during the show, we aged like 8-10 years or something. And then we had to get a little more mature looking. And I will never, ever be able to thank her enough for what I learned from Maria during the show about makeup. Yeah.
Lee, sorry, you were saying something. We interrupted you, Lee.
Oh, no, I was just saying one of your castmates, who's a dear friend of mine, one of your freaks in the show, is watching, and he said, "Hello, Philip Officer is here."
Oh,
The Reptile Man.
Hello, Philip.
I love
How
Philip.
about that?
Oh my gosh, what a voice.
Yeah,
What a voice.
Great voice.
Yes.
Great
Now,
voice.
I know that Alice and Emily you do shows and concerts together, you've recorded together. How did you guys realize that once the show ended its life on Broadway, how often do your fans are incredibly loyal and fiercely love the show? How do you hear about it? I'm sure people see you in the street, they come see you in other things, and the sideshow lives on. It lives on. And how does that feel when you hear from all of these wonderful fans that have been reaching out to us all week?
I think
I feel so proud.
They saw me in the street. I think that's a moment I don't really want to talk about. The moment I was in the street, I was actually lying in the street, and somebody saw me. I'm just joking. You know, there's an interesting story after the show closed, Em, about how we decided maybe we should just contact this Bruce Kimmel guy. You know, and maybe he'll make him. He didn't know who we were. He didn't know what the show was. I'm outing you, Bruce. But you know, he lives in Studio City. They have their own world over there. But we said, look, our show just closed, and you should make a record with us. And then we ended up making 2 with him.
Yeah.
And, you know, the duets album was my mother would be so happy right now because she loved Emily and I together singing, as I do. And the duets album was my mother's favorite album of ours. She played it, you know, all the time.
Yeah.
So, and that was because of Veraz Sarah Band. So those 2 albums that we put out got us in the mode of working together, right, Ems, and wanting to do shows. And we did more shows together, too. More actual shows, so.
I saw you both in The Dead. James Joyce's The Dead.
Yes.
That was great.
That's right. Right.
That's a subject that just drops dead when you say The Dead.
Well, Henry, are you working on any new projects, or is and I'm asking as an actor. You need a 57-year-old black man to sing in your
I'm working on something with Bobby Longbottom, actually.
Oh,
really?
Is this the Kristen Chenoweth thing still?
Can I audition right now? Can I audition right now?
Hey, go.
Yes.
Great.
Be loved by someone who. No, just kidding.
It would be more resonant than ever.
What, Bobby?
What'd you say, Bobby?
It's a musical about Tammy Faye Baker.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Great.
Anything to bring down Trump. Let's do it.
Yes. Thanks, Jeff. I'm glad you said
Ken's
something.
writing the music, and David Yazbek is writing lyrics. And
Wow.
Robert Thorne is our new book writer.
Oh wow! Oh wow! It's gonna be good.
I could play the Jim Baker.
You can play Jerry Falwell, though.
I could play Jerry Falwell.
I'm serious.
Why not?
Are you really 57? Oh my God.
57, yeah.
Jesus,
Yeah, we all are.
And you were
Except
so
him.
good in that Spike Lee movie. I was beyond like crazy.
Oh.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's all tell our
Darn.
ages.
Phenomenal.
Let's say how old we are.
Oh, Jeff, stop.
No, we'll go right across the board. We'll go right across.
Just Google
the
it,
board, Robert.
people. You're too lazy. Google.
Robert.
The only thing, Jeff, the only thing is that your face has not changed. You still look the same. Your hair has just gotten whiter. That's all.
Well, I can afford the work I've had done. You know?
You're still beautiful, Mr. McCarthy.
And can I just say, we're all kind of tied in somehow because Ken Jennings, I watched your video of you doing Tobias, and we've already talked about that. But I've gotten a chance to play Sweeney Todd. Emily has done Sweeney Todd. Jeff has done Sweeney Todd. Hugh Panaro has done Sweeney Todd. So I think we owe all of our Sweeney Todds to you.
Yeah,
So true.
I've done it
We
twice.
So true.
I did it 2 times.
Did you do it? Did you really? Oh,
I did.
I did
You've
it.
done it,
Amen.
Alice? You've done it
You didn't know
twice?
about it, but I did. I did. I did.
Wow.
In your living room.
Yeah, well, kind of, yeah.
There was a
I
guy.
saw you Sweeney, Norm. Bobby and I-
He's a very
Bobby
good
and I went
musical director,
together
Tim
to see your
Steiner. He said to me he was going to go run a theater down in Florida. And he said, I don't know if it ever happened. He said, Ken, I want to cast you as Sweeney Todd.
Yeah,
I thought,
great.
that's great. That's great. What are you going to do? Have a box? Get up to the barber chair? I'll climb in a box each time I've got to slit the guy's throat.
Yeah, actually. That would be cool.
That would actually be kind of neat.
Yeah, it'd be
Wait a
cool.
minute. What
would.
about,
It would.
what about those stilts you wore in Sideshow? Remember that?
That's right.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
This group should do a revival of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, don't you think? I think it'd be great. Ken and I almost did Cyrano together in the winter.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
we had.
Yeah, up in Montana. But
Yeah.
where did M. Skins go?
Yeah, where'd she go?
Emily.
She's back into the galaxies.
Uh-oh.
She'll come back. She'll come back.
We'll be back.
She's transporting herself.
There she is.
Yay!
Yay!
I want to remember all of these faces.
We
you
noticed
took
you
a-
were gone. Does that make you feel? We noticed that you were gone. We didn't ignore that you disappeared.
That.
Yeah.
You're right, though. We got to take a screenshot here.
How do you do that?
Robert and Lee, we just took over your show.
Nope. Good.
You know what? You know what?
The best
It's
show.
the best gift. It's the
Yes.
best gift.
We haven't done it.
We are so fine with that.
A few minutes ago, I thought you were going to say, you notice how, I haven't asked a question in 15 minutes? Did you notice that? But you said something else instead.
I love it.
Somebody get a screenshot.
Yeah, someone get a screenshot.
I did.
We're
I'll
gonna
send
do
you
it while we're
3,
all smiling.
2, 1.
Huh?
2, 3, go!
Got it.
Got it.
Now be
I took
sending
one.
that to me, Jeff,
took
or
one.
somebody, okay? Because I don't know how any of this stuff works. So be sending that to me, okay?
Come on over, Ken. Come on over.
I'll send
Kenneth.
it.
Join the club.
I will
Are you a
send it
Luddite,
to
Kenneth?
everyone.
But what I will, I'm, and again, I'm being Oprah right now, taking over. But what I will say is that what was so magical about the show is that everyone who saw it felt a piece of themselves on that stage. I mean, the words, come look at the freaks. We all are freaks. And, I will never leave you. Those songs, I mean, sometimes people made fun of the song because of the fact that they were attached to each other. But it really resonated with people have been singing this at weddings. And people have been singing at graduations, things like that, because it does mean so much. And we all feel freakish sometime in our lives. And, that was the main thing about when people would come to see the show. They didn't know what it was about. They were like, I don't know if I'm going to see these people who are, considered freaks in a sideshow. But once they got there, they were like, oh, my God, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. And, it's all for applause to the creators, these two right here, Bill Russell, and I guess us as well, but definitely under the leadership of you two. Yeah.
Yes, you as well.
Of
right?
course, mostly yes. Yes, indeed. You know, we had the most incredible TV commercial schemed out. The whole thing was storyboarded out. You saw the back of Emily's stage right, the back of Alice stage left. You saw these beautiful girls coming together and joined, and all this great montaging that would have, I think, dealt with the Jerry Springer problem we had, and just explaining what the show was to people. But we were never able to make that commercial. I think it would have made a big difference.
Yes.
Wow.
There's a great story. Remember, our drummer was Ray Grappone.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget. Remember you know what I mean? When he was talking, when Norm was talking, when Norm a few minutes ago was talking about "I Will Never Leave You" and how people relate. Remember when Ray came to us and we were doing tech, because he had his drums, you know, on the orchestra floor, down stage left, you know, house right there. He set up his drums right there, and he just played rehearsals for us with David or whoever happened to be playing piano. But anyway, we were taking a break, and we had been working on "I Will Never Leave You" for a while that day, and Ray had been playing the same thing over and over and over again. And we just were standing on the edge of the stage, Emily and me, and he looked up at us and he was like, "You know what? I get it. I get it. I finally understand this song. It's you will never leave her." Remember that, Emily? And we were like, "Exactly, Ray. Exactly."
He did not.
I think we knew.
He did say that. He has a little bit of an
He
accent.
really sort of had something when.
But he didn't say "huh."
When the show was really, struggling, and all of our crew were so invested in the show. All of our IATSE backstage crew.
Yeah.
And I remember some of them would come up to Alice and go, "I really love the show. I really hope the show makes it."
Yeah.
And crew guys don't say that. They don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They would dance along. They'd be doing the choreography.
Hundreds of shows. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
they'd be doing the choreography and backstage.
Out to the tickets booth between shows to help us.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It's and also, you know, it's I mean, there's so much music. I think there should be an album of songs that were cut from the show, because I just remember there was this, and this is the genius of who Bobby and Henry and Bill are, because there was this beautiful song that Alice. I get you guys confused. Sorry. That Alice was singing when she was saying no to Buddy about not marrying him, and it was a beautiful song that you think maybe Barbara Streisand ended up singing. She's gone. And I just remember when they decided to cut that song, I was really hurt. But all Alice had to say was, "No, I'm not marrying you." And that was it took that, you know, that brilliance to go, you know what, this song is amazing, but it's not needed in this moment.
I know that the story from my perspective is, there we were in our previews, and, you know, we rehearsed during the day and then work at night, and, you know, you do it every day except your day off. And so Bobby comes in before, it was, you know, a while before half hour, we were there, and you come in, you knock, and you come in, you said, can we have a chat? And you got down on your knee. You did, Bobby, and your heart was just like a bird going, "Please don't kill me." Little did you know, I was like, yes, one last song I have to sing.
Yes, I have to sing.
I mean, honestly, Norm, it makes me feel bad that you were hurt, because although I can understand why, but the thing was, Bobby, it was such a good decision, because since we had been doing it, I always think that, you know, when you take a moment out, it doesn't disappear from your you know, like your phantom limb memory of what used to be there in the show. And it just adds to the patina. And if anything, it's going to make it better, because you don't know why it's so seasoned. And so everything I was feeling, and that Norm and I and Emily and I and everybody else on stage had developed for that moment, was still there. But we didn't have to stop the show to just watch Violet finally have her moment. And it was okay.
It was a gorgeous song.
It was great.
It's not the momentum of going to the end of the show, getting to the end of the show.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, people, they want me to sing it. They ask me to sing it all the time, and I usually don't, because, well, you know, I'm just kind of sensitive, picky about when I sing this stuff and who I sing it with. But also, out of context, that song, you know, I don't know how to do it out of context. I just, it's a great belter, but we're beyond that now. We want to have some real depth and meaning in what we're doing too, even if it's just 2.5 minutes. So,
you know what you two did brilliantly was Leave Me Alone, because that was basically the moment that it defied logic that you actually weren't bound together, because you were pushing each other off your center and off your balance, and it was amazing how you kept that together. And that was my favorite transition of the show. Thank you, David Chase. That music leading up into those archaeologists coming down stage was pretty
and
cool.
Bobby, Leave Me Alone was also, remember when we had that corset at 8:90 in the rehearsal?
Just for the day. You wore it for one day and you made a phone call to your agent and said, I'm never wearing this again.
Yeah, I went down to the payphone and punched in my AT&T number, and then I made a phone call to my agent. That's what I did, yeah.
Guys, just to confirm that I was on the right track. And for our production, that made sense. So.
No, but I remember that I really got a sense of how they moved together just from that few hours we had it on, because I remember we would sit in the corset together and I'd be facing away, and we had to decide who decided to leave, because it's not like they always decide to get up and leave at the same time. They don't always do that. One is going to be maybe pulling the other one, or just a little bit, and the other one might be like, what the hell? I'm talking about them like they're milk cartons, but
no. But remember,
surprise.
the original twins died. One of them died on a heating grate, and the other had to. Yes, yeah. She died laying on a heating grate. The other one had to stick right with her.
Wow.
Nice. And by today's standards, they would have been separated because it was
easily.
Yeah. They would have been separated like before they left the hospital, probably.
Yeah, right.
It would have been one of those things they do when they're born, probably, because the way they were connected, from what we discovered and what was true, was that they didn't share bones or anything that they couldn't it was just skin, and isn't that a nice subject? Yeah. The fleshy link.
This is a story I never really tell to anyone. I hope she said it to, but it's the greatest compliment I have ever received ever in theater. But it's a compliment to all of us. I was coming down the stairs after the show, and Elaine Stritch was coming up the stairs. And she stopped me and she said to me, the opening to Sideshow is the greatest opening to any Broadway show I have ever seen.
Wow.
That's what she said.
What does she know?
She came to my dressing room afterwards, and I didn't recognize her, and my dresser was furious with me. End of story.
Chef. Right, because she was.
30 Rock hadn't happened yet. 30 Rock hadn't happened yet.
Right. But
if she'd sung "I'm Still Here" or something, I would have.
Did she introduce herself to you then?
No, she didn't. She came into this little sailor outfit. I don't know if you remember that night. And I said, I'm sorry. Thank you so much. You need to leave because I got to get to the train. I didn't know it was Elaine Stritch.
Oh, Jeff. Jeff.
Yes, I know. I'm still mad at myself.
Oh, we have a great Elaine Stritch story from the dead. Want to hear it? No,
yes.
It's actually a funny story. Remember that, Ems? Remember what happened when she came to the show? She came up, well, gosh, let's do the Dead reunion, because you get Christopher Walken on screen and we'll be on here for 8 hours straight. And it'll just be nothing but solid entertainment, man. So awesome.
Right.
But now I can't even remember what the hell I was saying. What the heck? Oh, yeah, so it was after a show and she had been in the audience. And so she had to walk past Christopher Walken's dressing room before she got to us, and she walked right past it. And I was, because, you get your radar out for this. It's like Elaine Stritch, because I would recognize Elaine Stritch if I saw her. Where are you? This way?
Wow.
It was a little dig to you. But so she rushes into our room and she knocks as she walks in, and she's like, do you mind if as she's doing it, and she pulls her skirt up, am I right? Puts her heel on the shirt, on the chair. So she's got she's got her foot on the chair. She goes into her bag and pulls out a syringe and gives herself an insulin shot right through her pantyhose.
Jesus God.
Is that too much information? But isn't that a great story? It's true. And it was one big movement. Like, she didn't even, because what are we going to do? Stop Elaine Stritch?
Here's the best part of that story. She knocked on the door. We opened the door. She came in. She didn't even say hi to us. She just walked in the door, came in, hiked her skirt up, yourself full of insulin.
But she couldn't do that in Chris's dressing room. That wouldn't be appropriate. Yeah, if she went to Chris's or the bathroom, maybe down in the because the people recognize Elaine Stritch. That's the thing about her. People recognize her everywhere she goes. If you don't know who she,
except for Jeff McCarthy.
Yeah, exactly.
All I remember is Christopher Walken. Emily told me this. Well, what?
Let's get back to Sideshow.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's what people want to maybe hear about.
I will
bottom row is like.
This is for any of the young people out there looking to, for their Broadway dream and stuff. I had one of the best auditions I have ever had in my entire life, and I auditioned with Alice, and I was there for about 2 hours. So I had done the dancing part, I'd done the scene work, and I did the singing, and we were done. And then I just remember Bobby and the rest of the producers and Henry and everybody else being behind the table, and they looked at me and said, "How would you like to be part of our family?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Can you give me 1 minute?" And I walked over to the window of that studio and started bawling because it was a highly emotional. It was a highly emotional scene, and it was the stress of the day, and so it was one of the best times, like one of the best auditions I've ever had.
Wow.
I will never forget that day. That's happened maybe on 2 or 3 times I've done that. And that, man, did you earn that?
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
He's Norm Lewis, Good Lord.
Thank you.
Well,
Bobby, you offered it to me right on the spot too, didn't you? You offered it to me. You said, "Would you?" And to me, that is the best thing that ever happens to you when you're an actor. When you get the offer right there after you just finished. It is just the best feeling in the world. So thank you for that. It's old school or something. Like the way Manny produced the show is old school. Didn't he mortgage his house twice or something to get that done? What we did? I don't know. Maybe that's sorry. Cut that out.
Let's let Robert and Lee say something.
Yeah, exactly.
No, this is my house. Our house is your house. Thank you so much.
So here's what I want to say. My computer has frozen 4 times during this broadcast, which is why I keep sharing. But I think we've got this. We've been doing this for 16 weeks. We started this because we were just bored and thought it would be fun. And it has just grown and grown. And every week has been really beautiful and really fun for people. And I think it's bringing a lot of joy to people. But this week has just it's like off the charts, the messages that we're getting. Your fans of this show, this original production, are like fiercely devoted. I've never seen anything like it. And it's really heartwarming because I think, especially at this moment in our lives when, we're all going through it, music and art is really what heals people and changes people. And it's so needed. And the incredible love that Robert and I have been seeing on posts and responses and emails that we've gotten about this show and just comments tonight. It's incredible. It's incredible. And I know that, you don't make this art for, that response. You make this art because you're artists, and that's what gives you life. And that's how you tell your stories, and that's how you breathe. But I just want to say that it's just incredible to witness this, and you should all really bathe in that because you have all made a huge impact on the theater loving community and on theater geeks like me and Robert. Yeah. You really have. I was there. I saw the original production, and you really have had quite a profound impact. And people that listen to this music, Henry, are like so moved. It's just incredible. So I just want to thank you for playing with us tonight, and I'm kind of speechless. Aside from that, I just can't believe this is happening.
Well, the art and theater is closed right now. It's just seeing the people come together and seeing you guys bring so much light to so many people, like all those musical theater kids and grown-ups that love art, theater, and Broadway. like it's a dream that you guys come on here. I know they're as thrilled, and it's from the bottom of our heart. Thank you for spending.
Thank you.
With
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you for having us.
Mike, this is the longest show we've had yet. It's almost 90 minutes, and people are still commenting. We might have to do a part 2.
Weekly.
Busy. I don't know.
Well, you
I'm just
can
saying.
tell this
So
group has
weekly.
a lot to say.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot to drink too.
Yeah, but
It's great seeing everybody. Love you all.
Truly.
I love you.
Love you, Henry, Bobby,
Love you so much.
everybody.
Guys, thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye now.
Lots of love.
Good to see you now. Take care now.
I guess I gotta go, huh? Bye, guys. Love you.
Oh, bye.
Thank you.
Robert, you forgot one. There you go. I know you're nervous.
Technical director.
I left you in this. I know. My computer kept freezing. Of all days.
I feel like this is Sideshow and I'm on the wrong side. Like you're Alice and I'm Emily and we are on the wrong side.
I know. It's okay.
Listen.
Wow.
All of you out there.
You know what? I think tomorrow we're gonna have to hop on and do another Instagram live like recap of this moment because it was so incredible. Right?
Yes. And listen, I want to just apologize to Norm and to listen, we tried we are a 2-man show and I know all of you trolls out there, I'm sorry. What are you
sorry about?
We all make mistakes.
Oh, yeah, there's that. It's all good. It's all good. Thank you all for watching. This has been a long show, but boy, wow.
It was
wow. My heart is full.
It was
My
wonderful.
heart is full.
Wonderful.
Right?
Yes.
Do you know how to end the broadcast?
I think I'm going to click the opener and end the broadcast.
Okay. Well, I love you.
Next week,
I love you
Cheetah
all.
Rivera.
Next week, Cheetah Rivera.
Cheetah Rivera here live. We'll see you then.
It's time for Quarantine Cabaret Cocktails with Robert Bannon and Lee Lessack.